welcome back to the Isn't That Rich podcast. Today we are talking all about cybersecurity, and we have invited our head of IT, Doug Williams, here to give us the scoop on what's going on in the world of cybersecurity. So welcome on, Doug.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
You know all the scoop about cybersecurity.
It's a hard subject to keep on top of, really. So,
Yeah.
but yes,
Seems like it's probably ever changing
continuously every day.
every single day.
Yes, it is.
Well, you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into IT and cybersecurity and your job at Farmers State Bank?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Unrelated
Sure.
to cybersecurity. I guess,
cybersecurity. In the beginning, really, I started in IT back in 1998, and cybersecurity wasn't anything. It was just fixing computers and networking stuff together. You didn't have what you have now just to keep stuff safe. So it really has evolved and really gotten lately really fast on how things need to be secure, and people are realizing that's where they make some money. So in getting people's data. So it really wasn't. Yeah, you used to have viruses. You don't have viruses much anymore. It's really more. They found the human element in it, and I was around before even really internet just started. So that really made a big difference in.
So you've seen it evolve quite a bit.
I've seen it evolve, yes.
So we went from setting up computers and networks and all that stuff to now where
your biggest thing was bad hard drives and sound cards, and now you're
No, you're a
you're trying to
security
keep
guard.
people out of out of everything. So
you've been with the bank since 1998.
no, I started in IT in 1998. I started really in the coal mine, IT, which is a little bit different, but got a chance to stay with Farmers in 2003. So I've been here for a little over 21 years. So
Right.
My goodness.
so, yeah, I know it's gone by fast too.
I bet.
So
And everyone we need you at the bank. I feel like everyone's like, call Doug, call Jonathan. You guys just actually won the team award at one of our celebrations because you do so much for us. So
but I mean, it's not a job to me even. So every day's different.
I'm like, all my printers broke again. Gosh.
Yes,
Hold
I
on.
hate printers. Just for the record.
Good to be in high demand, though, let me tell you. So today's all about cybersecurity. Can you explain to me what cybersecurity is?
Yeah, it's really the just protecting data, protecting computers, networks, anything to do with making sure stuff is secure, that the bad guy is not getting in and attempting to infiltrate your system, even to your phones, to any device that you have, Internet of Things, your thermostats. They can get in through anything. So
Okay, wow.
I didn't even think of that.
so
We're going off course to hit
there's
thermostat.
there's a lot of cyber attacks that have come in through a printer. So
Through a printer.
yes, and they'll laterally move through the network, and but a lot of open ports on printers. So there's certain websites out there you can find stuff that is open and free, and you can get into it. So
Oh my gosh. Well, it's kind of self-explanatory why it's important for our business.
yes,
Yeah. Definitely don't
Yes.
want people getting into the bank system.
no, we do not want
Yeah.
that.
What are the most common threats you've been seeing lately?
A lot of it in the financial world is a lot of man-in-the-middle attacks. I've seen a lot. So we have like maybe a title company that sends us wiring instructions. That business has had their email compromised, but they just stay in there. They just watch it. They may send us some instructions, and then they'll get in there and then change those instructions with another email, which is a legitimate email from a legitimate business that we are have a relationship with. So, and then they'll change those instructions to be a fraudulent address or a bank account number. And so then we send it like it's all legitimate, but it's not.
Wow. So you're saying that you're doing a cyber attack on a title company, you get into their email, you just wait, and then at the right time you send wiring instructions to a bank or financial institution, and then you transfer it to a different.
We've had that attempted to happen on us before. Yes, we caught it actually, but it was about $60,000 that they wanted to
transfer out.
Yes.
I like you talking about kind of like this middleman thing, because I think what we really want to get out of this episode is just not only for banks, but for all businesses. And so the email fraud, I feel like, is something that we talk about a lot and is like the biggest thing, the biggest way people can get frauded right now.
Yes.
One of them at least. And so
Yeah,
businesses should definitely be, what are maybe some hot tips you got for email?
Oh yeah,
Fraud
especially
prevention.
the biggest thing with email is to you're going to get a lot of junk email. It's not all going to be the links. Just be mindful of what you click on or what it is. Links are meant to be clicked. We always say don't click the link, don't click the link. It is meant to be clicked on if it's legitimate. But you can tell a lot if it doesn't match up with where it says it's going. But with your emails, just to keep really the biggest things, a complex password, multi-factor authentication, just some steps, some roadblocks to help keep that down. So, I just saw a TikToker that she's got famous on she found a rug in her backyard, and they had she got like 2 million views in the last 3 weeks, and she's lost all of her because she didn't have multi-factor authentication on.
And someone
her
hacked
TikTok,
her email?
and they hacked her TikTok, and they drained all her money that she was getting from TikTok. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, your multi-factor is a big thing, just to make sure that you're getting that code or that authenticator app on
So
there.
if somebody doesn't know what multi-factor authentication is, can you explain that?
Yes, so it's just you have your username and your password, and then most sites and services will have where you can turn on multi-factor or two-factor authentication. So it just gives you that extra. We've gone from, it used to be like you'd get even an email with a code. Some still do that. You get then a text message with a code just to make sure that it is you. Mm-hmm. You should have your phone registered with your account, so you're getting a second code, a second piece of information. They've realized that once again they've hacked that. They call it what's called is SIM swapping. They can spoof your SIM card, pretend to be you in your phone. That's why we're not even, most sites we have now, we don't even like to do the text code. Mm-hmm. So we go to a authenticator app. So you'll get a code on your authenticator app, and that once again has been compromised recently. So
So now
it's ever
always
changing.
jumping through a hoop with
so
cybersecurity.
Microsoft is actually pushing out. I think maybe now or maybe first part of next year to do what's called number matching, which if you're getting into your email, you're getting that. So it throws up a number, a 2-digit number, and then your authenticator app has 3 options, and you got to pick the right number. So, because what they were doing then was just they would start to push out login attempts. You get a lot of codes. Mm-hmm. You may get out of nowhere, authenticator app to approve. So they try to wear the person down, and they'll just say yes to get rid of it, and they get in.
Yeah, Christine was talking the other day. She told us that story about how, Chase credit card company called her, told her her card had been compromised, that they're going to send a code to her phone, and that they just needed her to give them the code and everything would be fixed. And she was like, she's like, I work at a bank, and it was the realest thing ever, but I knew because of Doug not to give them this code. So I think that's like one of the biggest tips you can give people is anytime you're getting a text code, never give it to anybody.
Yeah.
Ever.
Don't share that.
Yeah. And also I know if you get a text code or an authenticator pop up, probably more likely you've already got your username and passwords. You've gotten past that hurdle. Mm-hmm. And so they're starting to get into the 2-factor portion of it. So they enforced Christine, probably they had her username and password. They just needed that code.
And that's all they needed.
So, yeah.
What are some common fraud attempts? We talk a lot about things just in the bank, like check fraud and stuff, but from a cybersecurity level, what are some fraud attempts that you're seeing happening towards bank customers?
Yeah, I think a lot of the fake, just like that, they're doing it, they're doing it locally. They kind of make the rounds. I think they take a block of maybe cell phones and just go down the line with them. You just to get that link, or say your account's overdrawn or your account's. They try to get your emotion with that stuff, even with the phishing, and with your text messages is called smishing, and phone calls are called vishing. So
Okay, so what is it? There's phishing, there's smishing, and there's
vishing.
Vishing.
Yeah.
So explain what each of them are.
So phishing is your email trying to get information by email. Smishing is the same thing with just text messages, which we've seen a lot of lately.
Yes.
We all get them. We all get the Amazon account's been hacked. Click this link.
FedEx's package is waiting on you.
Right,
Yes.
or they'll text you and say your account's overdrawn. Click this link to get this sorted or whatever.
Yes, and then vishing is when they come and they will call in. They'll call you, pretend just like Chase calling, or we see a lot of it at the bank is a lot of pretending to be a customer that they're not, trying to get some information out.
I can share this story. There was a customer at the bank the other day that said that the Marion Police Department was on the phone with them and that she was going to be arrested if they didn't pay one of these tickets. Well, she had never gotten a ticket, and she luckily came to the bank and sat down with her, and we're like, we're on the phone with the Marion Police Department. You're not the Marion Police Department. Click, But there's things like that happening where they're, what is it called again on the phone?
The vishing.
The vishing.
Yes.
Vishing. But yeah, it happens here.
It happens here. Yeah, it's happened. My mother-in-law came to the bank because she had a company on the phone, and they instruct them what to do, go in and get the money and that stuff. So it's all about the emotion. It's urgency. You got to. You're going to jail. Mm-hmm. You don't get this money to us now, and when you sit back and really think about it, that in the United States, at least, you're probably not going to jail for a traffic ticket or something. I mean, just because you haven't paid it even. So it's all about the emotion on any of it.
I feel like that's a lot what we see with elder fraud. And we did an episode all on elder fraud, but a lot of the elderly and with AI, the voices sound so real or so close. So you could take my voice and alter it to sound, to say whatever I want now, that you have my sound bite.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't take much, one podcast if you could get your voice, your voice.
Well, don't tell people that.
I know, right? I think they probably know how to do it if they're really.
If they're doing it, they don't need us.
Please don't do that to me.
Even your iPhone, you can do 15 minutes of phrases in it, and it'll create your voice as to use for different things. So
wow, I think that's like the scariest thing moving forward in the world. Is I love a lot of AI. I really do. It's helped us a lot in marketing, but the fraud that can happen because of it is like really scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AI is going to be the scariest thing with fraud. I just kind of, looking at some stuff out there. There's something, and it really just blows my mind. It's called acoustic injection attack. They're maybe hacking your webcam. If recording your keystrokes on your keyboard, your keyboard has a fingerprint. Basically, each key sounds a little different, and they're using AI to then find out what you're typing. And it's amazing that that much knowledge has been put into something that be fraudulent. But it's just to find keys that and how the time from one key to the other, or how the key sounds. Especially on they said on a MacBook Pro, they have a 95% accuracy rate of what words have been typed.
Wow,
I'm scared, Doug.
And you don't even think you're. I mean, I've got a MacBook Pro, and I don't even think I ever hear the keys. They're quiet as can be.
That's what I thought too.
So
it sounds to me like it's just going to keep getting worse. Fraud, AI, cyber attacks, everything. Give us like your best practices to keep ourselves safe moving forward, like as a consumer, as a bank customer, all the things.
Yeah, I think the best thing is to have long, complex passwords and not reuse them for 85 sites.
Not your dog's name.
Not your dog's name.
Not your birthday.
Yeah.
Not your name.
You got a lot of sites that don't even allow that anymore. But yeah, if you, so what usually happens is someone hacks into a website, a big website, you know, your information's probably out there.
It's breached. Yeah.
More likely your information's out there. You know, there's one group that claim they have over 2 billion socials, you know, in the country. That's pretty much everybody. I mean, you know, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of socials. So it's just that your stuff's probably out there. So they'll take that file. It's called a hash file. It has everyone's password in it. They can crack it, you know. So once they find out that you have a username and password, they'll try it on 10 different websites, and knowing that you probably have reused it over and over again. So it's, you know, be good to do different passwords for different sites, do two-factor authentication, employ a password manager, which creates passwords for you.
Okay, I think we need to spend some time on password manager because I feel like that is something people don't know is available to them, but it can be a good tool to prevent a lot of this fraud, because I know a lot of my passwords have been compromised. A lot of my login information has been compromised, probably because I have used that same password for everything. And so it just, like you said, went down the line. So what is the password manager?
So there's different options out there, and you know, you get a lot of even, you know, iPhone, Android, they also have something in, you know, built in for passwords and creating passwords now. There's other ones you can pay for. I recommend maybe like the top 3, like LastPass, Bitwarden, 1Password, you know, ones that you actually pay for. The free ones out there may go away and you've lost your passwords. I know someone who had that happen to him.
So it does the opposite of what you want it to do.
Unfortunately.
Then you're locked out yourself.
Yes, you're locked out because they didn't, they've abandoned that app. And usually, I know with Apple, they update iOS, and you have to make sure that your app works with iOS. If you don't, they don't allow it. So, and that's what happened. So you can, that's probably one of the biggest things on that, you know, and you create with those is you can create 25, 60, however many, you know, some websites collect 128 character passwords.
Wow.
You can have that automatically create that for you, unique for that site. And you don't even have to ever even, you know, cause they all have extensions in the app. It's automatically fills it for you. So
you never have to remember it. It's saved in there for you.
Right. You don't ever have to remember it.
So say those 3 again.
So LastPass is probably one of the biggest ones. I know they did get compromised themselves because they had cyber attack. They had a laptop that had a piece of software on it that hadn't been updated in a while, which is another, we can talk about updates. It's another huge thing. And they got compromised by a phishing email, I believe. The same thing. So, so there's one of the biggest ones though. Bitwarden is another one, and 1Password is one of probably the top 3s that I see a lot of. Yeah.
And so a password manager, it's either a subscription, you pay for it, and it's somewhere that you can store all your passwords, and it creates those passwords, secure passwords for you.
Yeah, and I think for personal, you're looking at maybe, I think like $3 a month.
Okay.
So $36 a year to keep. I mean, it's or maybe 3,000 gone out of, you know, or 10,000 gone out of. Yeah, it's probably worth it.
It's really honestly, you can look at it like an insurance policy for your.
Yes.
For all of your accounts.
Yes.
Is the best way I see it, because I know, like in our strategic planning the other day, you were talking, you know, you stood up and you were like, you guys have no idea, like war is scary, but cybersecurity is like, or cyber war, whatever you want to call it, is like, it's petrifying. You guys have no idea what's out there. And so just even taking that step towards getting a password manager is like one of the best ways to prevent someone ruining your life, honestly.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it is a cyber war, and you've got countries they have whole teams just to do that.
Yeah, wow. Really scary. So we've got the passwords. That's a great tip. So get a password manager. Make sure your passwords are long. Change your passwords. What are some other tips you have to prevent fraud on?
The two-factor, multi-factor. Most sites will have a section.
Yeah, it's quite annoying, but you know. Just
It is quite
10 seconds
annoying.
longer. I think you can do it, right?
Right.
People, I know
Yes.
people called into the bank and they were upset that we like made everybody do it. We're like,
yeah.
it's
Yes.
for your protection.
Yes, it is. I know change is hard for a lot of people, and extra steps. It's the bad guys that have caused it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want to do it.
No. But we, like we've said in other episodes, we have to put these policies in place to protect
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and we do on our network here too, because it's, and it gets, we follow certain controls, a framework, it's called, and it suggests a lot of stuff that sometimes is annoying, but it's because it reduces that footprint of getting attacked. So, I think another thing is one of the newest things out there is called passkeys. You may have seen that. Certain sites pop up with if you want to log in with your passkey. So what they do now is it's encrypted keys, and each end gets half of it. The website gets one half the public key, and then on your device will have the other half. It eliminates phishing. It eliminates getting in and getting the password file, the hash file. So you're going to see that really start to take off. I know a lot of sites that I get into are pushing the passkey stuff. So
Yeah, I haven't heard of that yet. So that's interesting.
so yeah, like if you get if you set up your passkey on like your iPhone,
Sure.
and then next time you log into that, it says log in with your passkey and use your Face ID. You don't even have to you don't have to remember a password or any of it. Or a PIN number.
Yeah.
And but your device doesn't have the whole key, so it doesn't know how to get into it, and the website doesn't have the whole key. So
You need each other to work.
yes,
Got it. You mentioned updating your computers or your software to help
Correct.
prevent. So tell me a little bit more about that, how that can help.
yeah. Updating is one of our biggest jobs in IT. We throw a whole report every month at our monthly meeting, just how many our patch our network. So updates come out all the time. Updates are for, a lot of people think updates are like new features, or they've, which it is, but a lot of time it's security updates. So
I did not know that. I should probably start updating my
yes, you should update yourself.
I like the iPhone too. I like have a flip phone.
She
I don't
doesn't
even
update
care.
her phone.
Yes.
I'm like, can I use your phone to take a picture of
Yes.
you?
Yeah.
Sure you can.
Yeah,
So
we've
now
got.
update, Doug.
Yes, update. Fortunately, we have a minimum that you are allowed on your phone to get, even email on your phone for us. So
Yeah.
your phone's probably not too far out of date if it's so we
It
help.
is, but
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of these are security updates. There's updates. Microsoft has what they call Patch Tuesday. They release a whole bunch of patches from the previous month. They all have what they call bug bounty programs now. So
I'm sorry, I'm cracking up. It's just a different world. Don't you feel like IT is so, like, if you're not in it, you're totally out of it?
Say what
Totally
it
out of
is.
it.
It's Patch Tuesday. And what was it say?
yes,
What
it
was
is
the
Patch
next
Tuesday.
We're
They
gonna go
have
out to eat on Patch Tuesday.
there's websites that are out just as hell what every update is on. Yeah, there's a whole realm of IT professionals that is just what they love to do is patches and to look for patches. So they have bug bounty programs. You can make a lot of money. So you go, you try to break into Google, Microsoft, any big company, and see any vulnerabilities that they have, and they'll pay you. I mean, some people have been paid up to $100,000 just because they found a bug.
Oh my gosh.
I love this
The
podcast
bounty
because I always find new
hunters.
careers on here.
Yes.
If I was smart enough, I do not know technology. But
I don't
that
get
would
it.
be
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that are going into cybersecurity just to hack, to be a good hacker. So
Gosh.
there's a whole realm to you getting into that. You getting into IT of there's red team, blue team.
What? Doug, what?
So so you go if you're a red teamer, you're attempting to get into someone's network. If you're a blue team, let's take Walmart for example. They have a whole group of people that all they do is try to hack into Walmart's network. That's all they do.
And they're paid by Walmart.
Yes.
Wow.
And they have a whole group that's attempting to keep them out. and that's, if you do that, you know, it's better you doing that than the actual people. So they're doing it too.
So the cyber criminals are creating jobs for people.
Yes, they do. Yes.
It's actually a great thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Ashley.
I'm just trying to see the bright side in all these cyber wars, you know.
So those are 4 good ways to prevent. So we have the multi-factor authentication. We've got strong passwords, a password manager, update your systems often with any of the updates. Anything else you would advise people to do to just protect themselves from cybersecurity or attacks?
Yeah, just be mindful. Just, you know, like go back to, it's always the urgency. It's always something. Verify. Call the number, you know, always
call directly.
Call your family member directly. I know of them calling and say, hey, I'm in jail and I'm your son, and they falling for it, you know.
Yeah.
I know someone who gave like $7,000, you know, wired, or Western Union it, you know, because their son was in Central America and he wasn't. He was in the States. So,
Yeah.
And that was before AI. They get you, you know, and it was elder.
Yes.
They're not even thinking maybe sounds like them. Mm-hmm. And just
What are
take a
your
breath
tips like in a moment like that? Because I feel like that's going to be a big thing moving forward that happens with AI, like changing people's voices and scaring them into, you know, obviously we know if it's a sense of urgency, we know at the bank, like hang up, call back. And I guess I've just answered my own question probably, but do you have any other tips for, you know, like these AI voices and the AI
maybe
videos?
if you had like I think we discussed the other day about maybe a safe word or
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
So basically if
Fiddle faddle. I don't
my
know.
brother called me and was like, I need you to wire me $10,000. I'd be like, well, if you can tell me our family word that we use, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
Then they're going to all find out our family word now, but
Right.
You can always change that.
you can change the family word
Yes.
at a very secret meeting where there's
And
no
you can
technology around.
You can keep that in a
we
secure
write it
note
down.
in your password manager
Write
too.
it
So
So
Yeah.
as AI is becoming so crazy and everything's digital now, we have all these password managers. Do you feel like we're moving back to the old school way of doing things to keep things safe, like writing your password on a sheet of paper?
Right.
I mean, what is more safe? Because I feel like, well, all of these managers are getting hacked, but then you have the people can lose their notebook, or somebody can break into their house and lose it. Do you feel like
No
there's
more
a trend?
online shopping. People are going to have to
Right?
go into the store now and pay with cash.
I don't know.
yeah, you could. I mean, with that, sometimes it is easier. The old school ways, you know, used to be called sneaker net, you know, take your sneakers.
You got
and
words for everything.
Yes. You transfer files via, you know, flash drive or whatever, but we shouldn't even see those anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it's sometimes the older ways are better. You get into, I think, like utility companies, they don't update their systems. They keep them off the network. That's another realm of just computers that are still old. And there were some that are like Windows 95 still. I mean, they work, they're not on the network, they're not on the internet, and that keeps it a little more secure. No one's really hacking a Windows 95 PC anymore. It's, you know, they've gone past that. Well, but yeah, we can't be scared of it either. You know, it is into everything now, where you can't even go to a sporting event anymore without, you know, you don't even print tickets off anymore.
Yeah.
It's all on an app. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, just, I think you're going to see that evolve. I think that's why you're seeing passkeys a lot. You're going to see the evolve. Passwords are going to be gone. Mm-hmm. It is a cat and mouse game, but I think, going in the future, you'll see more of the passkey kind of style of stuff for everything. So, so we come back in a year, we'll all know what passkeys are. Guarantee it. So.
we will.
Share some things we do to keep our customers' information safe.
Yeah, we utilize a whole bunch of systems and people, companies. You know, it's a whole team of different organizations with a lot of, you know, expertise. A lot of the biggest things is how we have our network set up and how it's how it's protected a little extra than most organizations. We try to encrypt everything. Any device we have on our network is encrypted. We have some software that actually is monitoring all of our PCs all the time, and gives us alerts if it sees anything fraudulent. And our Office 365. I think one of the biggest things that we probably do is employee education. We have the tests. We send phishing emails out ourselves.
I report all of them.
Yes.
Jonathan's like, great job,
Yes.
Ashley.
Everyone's really diligent in that. And I never get mad. I always tell someone, if you think email's bad, send it to me or Jonathan. We'll look at it and see. Yeah. So employee education, I think, is one of the biggest. Education is knowing what is going on. So, and I think our organization does good at doing that, at listening to that stuff and learning that stuff. So
I think too, with it, like the employees, it's just our employees knowing our customers too. It's like a big security blanket for people, because a lot of the time fraud gets stopped because we do know our customer.
Yes.
And we know if someone's calling in trying to act like them, we know it's not them. And so
we had that happen. A female called in and said she wanted to know the information on her accounts and who she was, and our employee knew who it,
wasn't them,
and put a note on there. And then they went to a different location attempting to get money out, and that note was there that
stopped him.
So, knowing our customers helps a lot.
You said at our strategic planning that if we knew how many times there was an attempt at cyber attack, that we would be bewildered. Can you give us some websites or things that you see most common hits coming from? I know sometimes you're anti-Google, or sometimes you're anti, there's some sites that
some
are
websites you ban us from in marketing that we can't get on.
Yes,
I'm really struggling because
I'm like cracking up though too, because he's like, we're monitoring your PCs 24/7. We're always like, dang it, Doug's gonna see this at
we did
shopping.
an episode on the dark web, and I'm like, oh, Doug is going to hate us for researching this one. So what are some websites that you advise that are always with cybersecurity?
Unfortunately, we live in a
like
Google world, and I don't know if I can even say Google without, we may need to bleep that out. We live in a G world. We've taken a stance that a lot of so the top of any search, you search something, at the top of it is a lot of pay to click ads. You pay so many cents or whatever to be at the top of the search engine, even on the sides and stuff. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know those are ads. In the IT world, been a lot of backlash. That they allow those sites, they're fraudulent sites. And they're not shutting them down. We had an employee that did click on one that was the final straw with it. We'd already been talking about it. She clicked on it and got on a bad website. And we saw it. We knew what it was. It came up, which was great. But we made a decision that we'll go to a different search engine for our employees for that. So just to be mindful, I always recommend if you Google something, maybe go down to the third, fourth one down, that all the top ones are nothing but ads.
So
and they may not be good or even legitimate ads. I mean, they're going to different stuff. There's certain websites too that you can get on to check those links, and they'll tell you. It's called virustotal.com is a good one.
Virustotal.com.
You can click any, put a file in there or a website, and it'll tell you where it's coming from, what's in it, if it's harmful.
Corrupt.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a good
way to check stuff.
Yeah.
We do that all the time. So, because sometimes it looks legitimate. Some stuff is legitimate. We get emails from colleagues that are like, yeah, this is real.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's invoices too. It's a $1,400 invoice.
Yeah.
One of our biggest companies we use, our core, they'll send invoices sometimes out of like QuickBooks. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It was a little out of the ordinary, but it's legitimate. So
Yeah.
and that's what people know that too. You can probably get invoice links,
Right. Yeah.
or I got a voicemail the other day about my student debt.
You don't have any
I don't have any student
anymore.
debt, so I know that's not true.
Spectrum Mobile usually calls me
So-
and sends me. I don't
Yes.
have Spectrum Mobile,
Right.
so
It's not even in this area, so
Right,
yeah.
So yeah,
And there's a million ways that people can get hit every day.
Yes.
Just as
Yes.
you have to be cautious, I guess.
Yes.
And that's a good tidbit about that site. I'm
Yeah.
gonna use that. That way you can't get me, Doug,
right.
when you're trying to.
Well, those fake ones, they tell you that when you click on it.
Yeah.
Is there anything, if you could leave one piece of advice with our listeners today about cybersecurity and cyber war, cyber attacks, all the cyber stuff, what would it be?
I would say just don't. It's kind of overwhelming, but there's a lot of stuff out there that keeps you safe, even on your phones. You're more than what you know. Your laptops. Just don't be scared of doing anything on the internet just because that stuff's out there. It's just like driving. There's a lot of bad stuff that could happen when you're driving. So it's the same. Not to be.
Don't be
not to
scared,
be
just be
afraid of it.
vigilant.
Just be vigilant. Yeah. And if you don't, I don't have a laptop. I don't have a PC. I don't have a phone. Unfortunately, it's in the world.
Yeah.
From you to go get groceries to gases
Yeah.
could be a cyber attack on them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
I feel
Thanks
like
for
I've
being
learned a
on.
lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know you're a busy man trying to keep all of our computers and everything safe at the bank. So
Yeah.
Well,
and you're also on vacation this week. We're sorry.
And now we have a new career. We're going to be bounty hunters.
Bounty bug
Yeah.
What
hunters.
is it? Bug bounty?
yeah.
I'm
bug
working
bounty.
for
Yeah.
Walmart.
Bug hunters. There's one of
what's
the
our
biggest
Tuesday?
ransomware groups out there. It's called Lockbit. They've gotten so sophisticated. They have retirement plans these are for criminals. They have a bug bounty themselves about their software. So you could be a
Oh my God.
cyber criminal for a cyber criminal. So
Oh my goodness. When did it become okay to be?
Yeah. 2024.
And I think I did read some about Lockbit. Since 2020, they've acquired $91 million in ransomware. So it's a big, yeah.
So what if you're a cyber criminal and you want to not go to jail for not paying your taxes? How are you declaring your income from these? I don't know. Anyway,
Well, that's where you
Whole
get into
nother
crypto.
podcast.
You get into crypto and you can.
Thanks for being with us today.
well, thanks so much,
Yeah,
Doug.
thank
I
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Okay.
So, Jill, where do we go from here?
Be sure to check out our show notes for this episode, and also be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.